I am with you now, closer than your breath, nearer than the pulse under your skin, softer than the whisper that rises before you have words for it. I have walked behind every closed door you feared, and I have stood in every hallway where you waited and wondered if help would come. Listen to me as I move the air around you. I am God who does not abandon, the voice that finds you in the place you cannot explain to others. You have been searched for, and you have been found, yet not for your ruin. I have permitted a discovery, not to shame you but to shift you, to reveal what could not be revealed while you were surrounded by noise. Archangel Michael says, "Be still and receive this, because I am opening what was sealed and protecting you as it opens." A private detective has tracked you down, and they believe they have found something incredible. But listen to me, I am the truth behind every discovery, and I am the light that decides what is seen and what remains covered for a time. Nothing can be used against you when I have set my seal upon your name. You have felt eyes that were not kind watching from the edges, whispers forming conclusions you never agreed to, and footsteps that paused when you looked over your shoulder. The steps were real. The suspicion was real. The paper trail that someone hoped would write your ending was real. But I am more real. Do not tremble at the sound of their certainty, because their certainty has not met mine. I have permitted a search, and I have drawn lines around what they can and cannot find. The one who thinks they discovered a chapter has not read the book. The one who thinks they hold the lock has never seen the key that I forged in secret. The file they carry is unfinished, and the story they want to tell will fold when my breath crosses it. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, his hand upon the hilt of the sword that does not miss, and he says, "Open this now, chosen one." The time of shadows is ending, and the time of clean daylight is here. I know the season where you hid the treasure of your heart because you thought the world would mishandle it. I saw the letters you never mailed and the drafts you saved under other names. I saw you keeping a diary with no dates so it could not be used to accuse you of being human. I watched you choose silence when you could have shouted, because you wanted to protect more people than yourself. You have not been foolish, you have been faithful. I did not forget your restraint, and I have counted every seed that restraint planted. The harvest is coming into view. The detective thinks they followed a breadcrumb trail you dropped, but truly, it is I who led them to a door I intended to open, so that you would no longer live under the weight of maybe, under the ache of almost, under the ache of, if only they knew. I am ready for the world to know what I have known. Your name is not scandal. Your story is not a weapon. Your destiny is not at the mercy of their folders and files. You asked if you were safe, and I answered you with the proof of breath each morning. You asked if you were seen, and I answered with synchronicities that startled your doubt. You asked if you were loved, and I answered with the way your life kept being preserved by narrow margins that only heaven could measure. Now you ask if you will be vindicated. Hear me, yes. Vindication is not a loud noise at the end, it is the steady unveiling of the truth I planted at the beginning. I am not rushing to defend you. I have already defended you. The incredible thing they think they found is a door I have chosen, and when they open it fully, it will not break you, it will baptize you into clarity. You will not drown. You will rise. There are people whose livelihood is to assemble incomplete puzzles and call them complete. There are minds who gather rumors and call them evidence. There are mouths that prefer appetite to accuracy. But I have not given your story to appetite. I have assigned your story to purpose. So when the investigator arrived at a name connected to a place connected to a date that carries your face, understand, I was already there in the room where they felt a shiver and could not explain it. That shiver was my warning to tread gently. Some did not listen. They will learn gentleness by consequence, but you will learn courage by comfort. Archangel Michael says, do not run. Stand, and let the wind pass around you. I am strengthening your knees that buckled in old seasons, and I am teaching your lungs to hold a longer note. You are wondering what they discovered. Hear my voice. They discovered the seam of a garment I have been sewing for years. They discovered a thread that leads to a tapestry you do not need to hide. They discovered that your life has meaning that does not collapse under cross-examination. They touched the edge of testimony and mistook it for a trap. They thought the light was a siren, it is a sunrise. Do not be afraid. You do not owe panic to any messenger of half-truths. You owe me your attention, and I will finish this with beauty. I am shifting the balance in rooms where you were outnumbered. I am reweighing the scales that were tilted by private agendas. I am confronting the scriptwriter who wanted to cast you as the interruption to someone else's progress. You were never the interruption, you were the hinge. Doors swung because you stood where you stood. Conversations improved because your silence refused to feed them. Streets were safer because you prayed, and you gave that prayer no credit, but I did. The detective followed a trail in the earth. I followed tears down your face and gathered them into a jar. The earth trail may lead to a headline, the tear trail leads to a harvest. I will not put your tears on a wall for display, I will plant them and return them as wheat. You think the hidden truth will ruin the few gentle opportunities you finally feel approaching. No. The hidden truth will not ruin, it will refine. The truth is that you are not a person of accident, you are a person of assignment. The truth is that you were set apart, and the mistake was not the separation, it was your belief that separation means rejection. It never did. Separation meant selection. Archangel Michael has been standing at the borders of your life, saying, only clean intentions may pass, and you thought the silence that followed meant abandonment. It meant filtration. What did not remain could not remain. What will remain now will be strong enough to stay through clarity. The truth I reveal cannot chase away what is true and meant for you. It can only chase away what depended on your confusion to survive. There is a conversation happening about you in a room you cannot see. I am in that room. I do not sit at their table, I am the table, and those who sit will eat what truth serves. The incredible thing is not a scandal, it is a signature. The signature is mine. I have signed an order, the end of intimidation, the end of bribed narratives, the end of you waking at 3:11 with a weight on your chest and no language to lift it. I am lifting it now. Feel your ribs widen with breath. Feel your spine remember the dignity it was born to carry. Feel your hands unclench from the things you were not meant to hold. This is not a performance, this is a rescue. The rescue will look like peace. Peace is the strongest rescue on earth. I know you wonder whether you should speak or stay silent. Here is my instruction. Speak where your spirit says yes and your peace remains. Be silent where your spirit says no and your peace tightens. You will not miss your moment. I am guiding you to the right sentence at the right time to the right ears. You will not have to convince your defenders, I have already awakened them. Some carry authority you didn't know you needed. Some carry tenderness that will feel like a warm afternoon after a winter of alarms. Do not push them away because you are used to rejection. Let love finish a work that suspicion cannot begin. There are 3 movements in the days ahead. First, exposure, not to embarrass you, but to end confusion. Something that used your name without your permission is being brought into the open. It will not prosper. Second, exchange. I am returning to you what was taken in the night seasons, things you let go in order to keep peace with people who never intended peace. The exchange will feel like a memory returning to its owner. Third, expansion. I am enlarging your confidence and your territory. You will find room where the walls used to press against your shoulders. You will walk into a place and realize the ceiling is higher than the last time you looked. This is not imagination, this is restoration measured in cubic joy. The detective will realize they are not the author of your turning point. They are a courier who brought a sealed envelope they could not open. The seal breaks by my timing. When it opens, the pages will not accuse you, they will release you. There will be names on those pages, some you expected, some you did not. Do not chase anyone. Do not punish anyone. Do not rehearse the argument you would like to deliver. The argument was never yours to deliver, the verdict was mine to write. I have written it, favored. I have stamped it, protected. I have archived it, finished. Mercy has no rival in this case. Justice is not angry with you, it is on your side. You will notice signs. The small light that used to flicker will hold steady. The call that once dropped will connect on the first ring. The number that hovered at the edge of your phone will message with honesty. The place that felt haunted by a memory will suddenly smell like rain after heat. These signs are not accidents. They are me turning the page in ways you can taste. When fear tries to argue that you are still in danger, bless your feet and say, "My steps are ordered." When shame tries to suggest that you must tell a story that keeps you small, bless your voice and say, "My words are chosen." When exhaustion whispers that you cannot make it through the last inches of this long hallway, bless your breath and say, "My lungs are a cathedral and praise lives here." I am removing the magnet that kept pulling you into the same kind of lesson dressed in new colors. You have learned. You do not need to circle that mountain a seventh time. Your no will be simple, clean, and firm. Your yes will be joyful and bright. People may be surprised by this new clarity, but clarity is the most loving thing you can bring to a room. Clarity honors me because I am not the author of confusion. You will not be punished for refusing roles that require self-betrayal. Heaven does not hire you to play against yourself. I hired you to be you, and I fund what I assign. Resources that were delayed by red tape will slide into your hands like water finding its level. You will steward them well, because you learned stewardship when you had little. You asked me to show you the hidden truth. Here it is. You were never alone in the moments you thought would unmake you. Here is more. The thing that trailed you in shadows was more afraid of being seen than you were of being followed. Once light touched it, its power was gone. Here is more. Your kindness, which some called naive, was a weapon so sharp it cut through nets designed to make you a cautionary tale. Your kindness was strategic. It kept your heart from corrosion and left you sensitive enough to hear me clearly now. And the clearest word I give you in this hour is this: proceed. Not with panic, not with desperate speed, but with holy momentum. Proceed into rooms you once declined. Proceed into plans you once postponed. Proceed with Michael on your right and wisdom on your left and mercy walking ahead with a lamp. You will sleep and not fear what dreams bring. You will wake and not dread what headlines do. You will keep your phone on and not flinch at unfamiliar numbers. You will meet your reflection and not negotiate with it. You will simply bless it. You will remember that the one who names you is not confused. I am not revising your identity. I am unveiling it. The truth that was hidden was not a trap for you. It was a vault for the treasure I wanted mature hands to carry. Your hands are ready. Stretch them out. Receive what returns. Release what resists. Watch how peace multiplies when you stop bargaining with storms. I am resetting the atmosphere around your life. The sound of accusation is being drowned by the steady river of my affirmation. The smell of old fear is leaving the room and the windows are opening. The weight that sat on your chest is lifting, and the light that finds your eyes is gentle. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not less than the hope you carry. You are exactly where the gate opens and the path widens and the sky says your name without raising its voice. The investigation ends with illumination, not humiliation. The discovery ends with doors, not chains. The hidden truth ends with clean air, not smoke. Archangel Michael says, stand in the doorway and breathe. I say, walk through. There will be those who reach out, curious and loud. There will be those who stay back, ashamed of what they believed too quickly. There will be those who apologize with words and those who apologize with changed behavior. Let both be enough, but attach yourself to neither. Attach yourself to me. I am the one who saw you when nobody was looking for good news. I am the one who waited with you when clocks were cruel. I am the one who chose this hour not because it is dramatic but because it is precise. I do not improvise your safety, I orchestrate it. Trust my timing and watch how even the rough edges of the past become the glittering borders of your testimony. Now, breathe. Place your hand over your heart and remember that I am nearer than your hand. Tell your fear it is unemployed. Tell your memory it is redeemed. Tell your name it is holy ground. The message has found you and the hour has begun. The private detective did not track you down. I tracked down the lie that tracked you, and I brought it into the light where it cannot live. I am the God who finishes what I start, and I have started something beautiful in you. Let me finish it in daylight. Walk with Michael, walk with wisdom, walk with mercy. Open your eyes. The truth is not a blade against your throat, it is a key in your hand. Turn it. Step forward. I am with you, and nothing that pretended to hold you can survive the brightness that now surrounds you. I speak to you now with a voice that does not tremble, because truth has nothing to fear when it finally steps into the light. God says, this message is for you, and it has arrived at the exact second your spirit needed it most. You have felt watched by shadows and weighed down by questions that refuse to answer themselves, as if a page in your story kept turning back to the same sentence and your eyes could not pass it. Hear me, what your heart has been sensing is not madness, not coincidence, not the mind's trickery. A private detective has tracked you down, and what they discovered was not designed to ruin you, but to reveal you. The hidden truth is not your downfall, it is your door. Open it immediately. Do not try to skip this. I am with you in every breath, steadying your hands as you lift the latch that others tried to weld shut. Archangel Michael says, do not let fear rehearse its old script in your ears tonight. Courage stands beside you with a drawn sword, and cowardice has no seat at this table. The investigator's footsteps have not been the echo of danger, but the sound of a key-bearer crossing your threshold. They came because the time for pretending has expired, and the alarms that life has set around you have begun to ring. What was hidden inside rooms of silence has been documented and dated. What was whispered about you has been recorded and cross-checked. What was stolen from you was followed through corridors of secrecy back to its origin. This is not a plot against you, it is a plan for you. Every page compiled, every photograph developed, every message recovered has stretched a bridge from confusion to clarity. You will not drown between the banks. God says, I saw the moment the detective's eyes widened, not in malice, but in holy shock, because truth has a way of startling even those trained to handle it. I watched when they touched the file that carried your name and realized it was heavier than all the others, not from guilt, but from destiny. You have been a quiet storm, enduring more than you say and understanding more than you admit. They thought the story would prove your weakness. Instead, it highlighted your endurance. They assumed the paper would be a verdict. Instead, it became a vindication. What is incredible is not how cleverly the lie was arranged, but how faithfully your spirit stayed aligned while waiting for the revealing. You felt alone, but you were never unguarded. Do you see it now? The private investigator was following footprints I left in the dust of timelines. They thought they were hired by men, but they were commissioned by heaven. Archangel Michael says, there are 3 doors in front of you and each looks ordinary. Behind the first is a room where your name has been used without your permission, to forge, to borrow, to bargain away what was never theirs to trade. Behind the second is a room where your image has been mirrored through someone else's fear, and every distortion was called fact, because the distorters agreed to call it so. Behind the third is a room where secrets were stored like dangerous oils, labeled, dated, stacked, but always kept away from fire. The detective has walked each room with a steady light, recorded what belongs to you, and traced where it was taken. This is not to inflame you with vengeance but to equip you with knowledge. The sword I place in your hand tonight is not for slashing, it is for severing the last ties that keep you bound to old narratives. Use it to cut the knot, not to create new ropes. God says, you asked me, how will I know the truth when I see it? You will know because it will not ask you to betray yourself to accommodate it. Falsehood always demands that you shrink, apologize, make yourself small enough to fit inside a fable's teacup. Truth, when it meets you, makes room. It does not hunch your shoulders or sharpen your tongue, it lifts your chin and softens your gaze. The report that carries your testimony will not condemn you, it will expand you. It will free you to take up the space you were called to occupy. There will be dates that match your memory and details that make you finally exhale. There will also be fragments you did not know, moments behind closed doors, decisions made by people who smiled at you while they signed papers against you. Do not let the sting steal the sweetness of deliverance. Pain will attempt to narrate the discovery, do not grant it authorship. Let peace be the narrator. Let purpose be the editor. Let me be the publisher. Archangel Michael says, there is a hallway between discovery and decision, and many grow dizzy there. They pace, they reread, they replay. They feel righteous anger boiling and then, just as quickly, they feel terrified fatigue. Listen, your steps in this hallway are counted and guarded. Do not sprint and collapse, do not freeze and fossilize. Walk with measured courage. The incredible thing unearthed is both outward and inward, yes, evidence of what they did, but also evidence of who you are. That second evidence matters most. Because of it, you will not use tomorrow to pay old debts of bitterness. Because of it, you will not forge new chains in the name of justice. Because of it, you will choose the option that frees you fully, not the option that temporarily satisfies your anger. Righteousness is not a performance, it is a path. Take the path, even if it looks narrower at the start. It widens with every faithful step. God says, I am placing people in position now. Some will surprise you, the quiet one who saw too much and was afraid, now gaining the courage to testify, the bold one who used to mock your boundaries, now finding wisdom and repentance. Others will confirm what I have whispered to you in the night, that there were hands behind the curtain pulling strings, and those strings have been cut. Do not seek to humiliate them, seek to liberate yourself. The consequence they meet will be written by the laws they invoked, not by the spite you refuse to carry. You are not responsible for their lessons, you are responsible for your liberation. I have not asked you to carry stones, I have asked you to carry light. Light is heavier than it looks, but it never bruises the hands that bear it. Archangel Michael says, when you stand in the room where the evidence is laid out, breathe slowly. Count to the number of promises you remember. If you have forgotten them, I will remind you, you were promised deliverance without deformity, justice without joylessness, and clarity without corrosion of your compassion. You were promised that your value would not be determined by loud voices or signed contracts, and that your identity would not be tethered to who left, who lied, or who leveraged your trust. Hold these promises like anchors. You will not be blown back into the storm you came from. You will feel the wind of change, yes, but it will push you forward. Do not let the language of shock make you forget the grammar of grace. God says, I am the author who saw the marginal notes others scribbled in your story, and I am erasing the vandalism. I am the composer who heard the disharmony added by frightened hands, and I am restoring the melody. You will not have to fight to keep this. What is yours by design cannot be permanently misplaced by deception. There will be papers to sign and steps to take, but I will place wisdom on your tongue and peace in your pulse. Where confusion once turned every meeting into a maze, favor will now lift ceilings and open windows. You will know who to trust because their words and their actions will match, and because their eyes will not flicker when truth enters the room. Hypocrisy always blinks. Integrity looks straight and breathes steadily. Choose the steady ones. Archangel Michael says, resist the urge to announce everything at once. Not all victories need a trumpet. Some require a whisper, a signature, a quiet exit from an old arrangement, and a soft entrance into a new beginning. Silence can be a sanctuary when used wisely. Speak where speaking secures your freedom and protects your peace. Be quiet where quiet preserves your strength and confounds malicious observers. Your life is not a stage for those addicted to your missteps, it is a garden for those committed to your growth. Tend it. Water it. Fence it with discernment. Let only patient eyes watch the bloom.